major topic on this year's Regents exam is going to be the human's impact on the ecosystem. A perfect example of this is the gray wolf or the timber wolf. Their population was very prevalent 50 years ago. They could be found in every biome, tundra, taiga, deciduous forest. Now they're considered a threatened species, which means they're near endangerment or close to being endangered. The reason that their population has become as low as it is because of human hunting. And at first the humans were hunting the wolves for their fur, for their pelts. Now they're being hunted for a different reason. Humans have killed all of their prey, the bison, the deer, leaving them nothing to eat. So they're moving into farmlands and towns, and unfortunately they're preying on people's pets and farmers' animals. Since the timber wolf has moved into habitats such as farmlands, farmers are hunting and killing them to save their own livestock. The timber wolf's most immediate ancestor is today's domestic dog. The differences are the timber wolf's paws. They're 4 to 5 times bigger than a dog's paws, and the reason for that is the timber wolf is very good in the snow and the tundra, and having a large surface area on their paws keeps them above the snow. Their legs are also significantly longer in proportion to the rest of their body in comparison to the domestic dog. Timber wolf travels in packs. Many biologists believe that they travel in packs to herd their prey. However, it's more likely that the reason they travel in packs is to ensure reproductive success. There's a dominant male in every pack. They call him the alpha male, having many females in a pack for the alpha male to choose from. The alpha male will choose the strongest female of the pack, therefore ensuring that the pups will be stronger puppies than had he mated with a weaker female. The ring-tailed lemur is an endangered species, meaning it has an immediate threat of becoming extinct. Human activity can have a dramatic impact on the biosphere, to the point where other forms of life are threatened. In ecology, the term conservation is used to describe the wise management of natural resources, including the preservation of habitats and wildlife in order to preserve biodiversity. Many efforts have been made to protect and preserve Earth's natural environments. Some zoos have established captive breeding programs in which young animals, such as our ring-tailed lemurs, are raised in protected surroundings until the population is stable, then are later returned to their wild. Governments and conservation groups worldwide are working to set aside land or expand existing areas as parks and reserves. The United States has an extensive system of national parks, forests, and other protected areas. For example, Yellowstone became the first national park in 1872. The big problem is that the need to protect biodiversity is greatest in countries that are least able to do so. The destruction of rainforests, for example, is the single greatest threat to biodiversity. Most rainforests are located in developing countries where conservation goals must be weighed against the survival needs of the human population. Many conservation biologists are focusing on 25 biodiversity hotspots, where the biodiversity of these unique ecosystems is threatened. Madagascar is one of them. This is the home of the ring-tailed lemur primates. It's actually a primate. Many people don't believe that it is because it looks an awful lot like a raccoon or a cat. These primates actually only exist in Madagascar, and this is an island off the coast of Africa. They underwent some very interesting evolution, and that's called reproductive isolation. Reproductive isolation is an example of a process called speciation, which is the formation of new species. Madagascar, the island, was once a part of the major continent of Africa, and millions of years ago, through continental drift, the island separated from the major continent, and these organisms, these ring-tailed lemurs, ended up alone and isolated, and therefore they could only reproduce within themselves, making their species look very specifically different than the other primates that you might see. One similarity lemurs still share with monkeys is the existence of an opposable thumb. Over 40 species of lemurs are endemic to Madagascar, meaning they can be found nowhere else on Earth. The lemur is perhaps the greatest testament to Madagascar's geographic isolation, as evolutionarily superior primates, such as monkeys, outcompeted lemurs from all other parts of the world into extinction or evolution. Much like Darwin's finches, the lemurs of Madagascar have speciated in order to take advantage of all facets of the Madagascan environment for food. They live in all areas of the forest, and each has a special adaptation for their specific niche. The ii species eat bugs, so they have very large ears to hear insects inside a tree, and have a very large third finger to probe holes in trees to get the bugs out. Unlike most other lemurs, ringtails spend 40% of their time on the ground. They move on all fours along the forest floor. The Indri lemur does not have a tail, and the blue-eyed lemurs are the only non-human primates to have blue eyes. Lemurs are considered primitive primates. They have a smoother brain. Their ancient relatives are monkeys, gray apes, and humans. All primates are believed to descend from a small insect-eating shrew, living in forests during the age of the dinosaurs. Fossil records show lemurs existing in England, France, and North America. They were a relatively successful evolutionary group up to recent times. The ring-tailed lemurs have very interesting eyes, and they look like they're staring all the time, and the reason for that is they don't have much mobility in their sockets. Their eyes can't move very much. Remember, lemurs are primitive primates. Eyeball motility evolved later in other species. Lemurs have stereoscopic vision but cannot see color due to a lack of cone cells in their retina. Lemurs have specialized night vision involving the reflective tapum or mirror in their eyes in the back of their retina. The eyes glow in dim light when the viewer sees the reflected light passing back out of a lemur's eye. So for the ring-tailed lemur to look around, they have to turn their head a lot. Because of this unusual stare that they have, it was believed that they had a ghost inside of them by the Aborigines in Africa a long time ago. The geographic isolation of Madagascar, which got separated from Africa 165 million years ago, has resulted in the survival of specific species, like the lemurs, unknown anywhere else in the world. This separation provided plentiful food for animals and almost a total lack of predators. On the Regents exam you'll be taking in just a few short weeks, you're going to be responsible for understanding reproductive technology. An example of reproductive technology is selective breeding. Selective breeding is breeding in which humans choose the parent plants or parent animals based on certain desirable characteristics that they want to see in the next generation. This allows us to improve the efficiency of animals and plants that we breed. The animal behind me is a Z-donk. It is a cross between a male zebra and a female donkey. When you cross two organisms that are not the same species, it's referred to as a hybrid. The hybrid animal that results from selective breeding, such as the Z-donk, cannot reproduce on its own. It is sterile because it has an odd number of chromosomes. Unlike most hybrids that are created by humans, Z-donks have been found to occur naturally in South Africa, where zebras and donkeys live in close proximity. In most cases, hybrids are produced to serve a function, such as crossing a horse and a donkey. You would get a mule, and a mule is a stronger, sturdier animal that can carry packs. Nearly all domestic animals, including horses, cats, dogs, farm animals, and most crop plants, have been produced by selective breeding. In terms of farm animals, such as chickens, they've been selectively bred for more than 100 years to produce more and more eggs. Cows have been selectively bred to increase milk production and to grow faster so their meat can end up in stores faster. For dogs, traits such as the speed of a greyhound, the courage of a German shepherd, and the cute pug nose of a bulldog have all come from selective breeding.